Okay, so
United defended way better. We were solid when we got back. We defended so much better. That's why you didn't make it through. But in terms of breaking the midfield lines, in terms of getting into the area, you were doing that the whole game. And I think it's absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you finished what you want to say yet, Steve. I'm fuming, bro. I can't even lie.
Go ahead.
Like I don't understand the simple fact we get a manager change or manager bounce, and all of a sudden we're glorifying chances that we're having, but we're not taking them, and we've got this patience again. Where's this come from? Sorry, it's because we've got Rude in the stands. So sorry, wasn't Garnacho playing against West Ham and everyone screaming for him to come off because he was shit, wasn't taking chances, but now all of a sudden, no, it's okay to keep him on. Like, where's it? Why is the hypocrisy happening again? Because this is why I said I'm United FC. I'm not manager FC.
Oh, sorry, Sunshine. Sorry to interject.
Yeah.
But we've criticised Garnacho's finishing. The difference here, why there's a difference?
I'm not saying that.
Where the energy is different is that what we're talking about is that the base of our performance today, the shape that we had, some of the individual performances and the way that we weren't run through. Like, listen, we have played teams that got relegated who have cut through us like a hot knife through butter and peppered our goal. You know, we were in the last year, we've been averaging 27 shots on our goal per game. Okay, sorry, 24 shots on our goal per game. So where we're happy is that a lot of that was nullified today. But equally, we have said loads of work needs to be done, huge improvement still needed. The squad needs to grow. The reason why we were so upset under Ten Hag so regularly is because there wasn't even a shape to start a foundation from, to grow from within. It was just an absolute mess from top to bottom. I wouldn't call Man United performance today a mess as a team. Individuals miss chances, there's no doubt. But if Garnacho scores 2 of his chances, the rest of the performance is still there, isn't it? And we're going crazy celebrating.
How consistent do I have to be? Regardless of system and style of play, we don't win the game. Like when do we get to a situation that not putting the ball in the back of the net is the priority? When is that going to be the priority? Someone tell me on the stream, when I'm going to turn up on stream, I have to sit and talk about my team putting the ball in the net. Because respectfully, I appreciate the fact that we were defensively much better. We nullified Chelsea. I respected that. And again, we all love stats, don't we? No one would have thought that Man United's clean sheets in the Premier League was 11 before this game. So goals conceded was 11. Same as Arsenal, same as Man City. No stress. So it hasn't been that shit, has it? Let's be honest. Defensively, we've not been that shit. If those are the type of stats that we're matching with. But then on the other end, Chris Wood's on 8 goals in the Premier League and we're on 9. We're sit third out of, we're bottom 3 out of 20 teams for most goals scored. So how am I sitting here glorifying Garnacho in one moment to say that, he's doing the chances he's doing well?
Who's glorifying Garnacho? Who's glorifying Garnacho?
Rude Van
Who glorified Garnacho?
Say again?
Who glorified Garnacho on this show?
Okay, when I say glorify, I'll use my terms a little bit better. We're letting him get away with it because we're sitting here. Well, I've heard it on the panel when you came on. You were saying, not saying who it was specifically. We're saying he's young, he needs coaching. We need this. I'm sorry, you need coaching to wrap your foot around the ball 6 yards out of the box, bro. You need coaching for that. But when it was against West Ham, hold up. When it was against West Ham, no one was sitting here saying Garnacho needs coaching to wrap his foot. It was all Ten Hag. The same shit's happening regardless.
Bro, you missed the
not finishing his dinner. Get him off the pitch.
Someone called him trash, like outright trash.
I'm not saying he's trash, bro. But what I'm saying is,
that's the point. Bro, listen, calm down. Listen, 2 seconds. The reason why I mentioned the coaching and he's not getting help is because someone called him outright trash in general. I wasn't talking about the game today. I was talking about his development as a whole as a player. That's 2 different contexts. If you want to talk about today, I even said when he missed one of the chances, get him off. I said get him off. I wanted to get soaked.
All I can say is this. I have not heard anybody on here. Listen, I said his movement was great, but he's got to be finishing those chances. We literally criticised his finishing today.
Sorry, but you're missing the point. My issue is the manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy, is getting no slack for it because he should have taken my man off. And then against West Ham...
But hang on. No one's... for me personally... I'm not going to spend that much time focusing on the good, the bad, and the ugly of a manager that's got 2 more games and then gone. Why would I do that?
I'm not upset to say that, he's in charge. I'm saying objective. You said, let's be honest and objective. I'm seeing double standards. I'm seeing the same things happen. Okay, well, let me explain. Okay, challenge what I'm saying now. You can challenge what I'm saying. I'll tell you what I've seen where there's double standards, and then we can challenge it. Because we have the same amount of time on the show. We have the same amount of conversations on the show. We've seen West Ham recently, the game. We've seen the same things happen in this game. The notion, the narrative that started it was nothing was to do with the manager first and foremost. Again today, we haven't mentioned his poor decision making in those areas because we're trying to win a game here. I don't know about you, but I wanted to slap Chelsea today. So for me, I've got to look at the manager as well and go, bro, why are you keeping my man on when he's literally missing cities against West Ham and Chelsea?
And that's fair for you to throw that criticism. I don't care. My issue here isn't what you didn't like about the game. My issue is that you've come on here telling us that we're glorifying a player that we have criticized and said should do better. But let me tell you why my energy is different.
I wasn't glorifying the player into that state to say, oh, you've gassed him up to levels, but you've literally not given the criticism to the same level as you would have against West Ham. It's two different ways of criticizing.
Okay, but I'll tell you as to why I would do that, and I don't believe it's hypocrisy. Is that by the time that level of criticism comes around, you're 2 and a bit years into a manager, his system, his training methods, and his development of your players. So of course, after 2 years of some really good moments and some trophies, but loads of downs and no progression, actual regression in the league, you're going to be more frustrated than an interim manager in his second game who's helping us through a little crisis period before the new guy arrives. But I will never have the same energy for any manager on game week 2, whether they're interim or permanent, as I did for a manager over 24 months into his job. So for me personally, that's why it's completely and utterly different. It's a completely different scenario. And I think the differentials are gargantuan.
The issue I have with that, Terry, respectfully again, and I again love these debates, but the reason I have an issue with that is because Man United fans have been, in my opinion, then poorly, obviously analysing games just because they're pissed at a manager. Because there have been games in this season and previous seasons where it has not been on a manager. And if the Amorim comes in and we start to perform like this again, we're going to be going down the same route. And I'm just sitting here going, I'm sitting back observing how we're analysing teams. Because if the same thing is happening, but there's 2 different managers in place. And again, I'm not saying Ruud van Nistelrooy is wrong for trying to set up a low block. I think he's got 4 games. So let's just get this out of the way first and foremost. Ruud van Nistelrooy only has 4 games. I have no expectation of him other than to try and get results and not change things too tough. I get that. Yeah. That's not an issue. So again, you guys know I can be very, very honest. That's not my issue here. My main issue here is the simple fact that when we're analysing our club, our football, it seems to me that it's so easily to get trapped in this notion that everything is manager based, and it's been, forget Ten Hag, it's been like that for the past 11 years. So it gets to a certain level, regardless of manager. If Amorim comes in here and we carry on this same BS, in my opinion, BS, and the reason I call it BS is because if we analyze fairly, some of these players need criticizing more than managers.
But Sunshine, this is the thing, right? I understand where you're coming from, but I really do think, I'm going to be blunt, I think I'm the wrong target. And I'll tell you what, or the show's the wrong target. I don't think we can sit here and...
I'm not even trying to target, I'm just highlighting what
I'm saying is, I don't think the football terrace is the sort of birthing ground where it's only ever been the manager here that's been blamed. I mean, me personally, although I think Ten Hag should have gone, my biggest call out in the last 11 years has been the way the club's run. It's never been players or the manager. I think it's the structure of the football club. I understand exactly where you're coming from. And some people do just have manager agendas and they never want to blame certain players. Some people, though, just have player agendas and all they do is go after those individual players. And I think it is about being fair and balanced. But I look at today and I see a team that was in a good shape, a team that was hard to break down. And I've said this for years, that is the base of any football team. Being hard to beat is step one. And we saw that this team had the capability of doing it. So therefore, the excitement comes in. The new head coach will be in here. If we can become hard to beat, then we start playing better football. Then I'm going to start to be more concerned about the cherry on top of the cake, which is putting the ball into the back of the net. I would rather build it that way. That's just me personally. As I say, though, I understand your frustrations. I was annoyed with Garnacho today. KJ was kicking chairs when he missed chances. Like, we're not sitting here saying that we're not frustrated, but we're just talking overall. And I just don't think it's healthy for a Man United fan to be reviewing this game in the same way you would the permanent head coach 2 to 2.5 years into their time at the football club. But look, I do appreciate where you're coming from.